So I figure if I'm going to make Sparks and Spines a regular thing, I should probably get a little insight on true bookish matchmaking. So today I'm going to see an expert, and I'm hoping to get some tips and some tricks from them. So we're going to see how this goes. So I'm Nick. This is Dr. Cranky Pants Reads. And today I'm getting some matchmaking done. This is a real thing, right? Look, I'm just here to find my bookish soulmate, and you know, all I want is for it to at least be something that's not going to ghost me halfway through. Hi.
Hello.
I'm Nick.
Nice to meet you. I'm Emily. I match books with readers. Sometimes it's true love. Sometimes it's a restraining order. And sometimes it gets really messy. Welcome. What are you looking for today? So like a dark, well-plotted book, or something quirky with a strong opening chapter and then like a really strong climax?
Climaxes are always good. You know, really, I need something with a strong sense of self. I need something that doesn't take itself too seriously. I don't need 87 pages of Tree Song, for instance. I need a book that's gonna follow through on what it says it's gonna do. If it's a murder mystery and you haven't killed someone by page 50, I don't think that's the relationship for me. I don't think that's it. And ideally, you know, a retirement plan.
He said retirement plan, right? I thought we were talking about books. Now I'm thinking he's drafting a prenup, right?
I know. I said retirement plan, but is it so bad to want a book that has its life together? I'm 43. I'm tired of projects. I like a good book that, you know, gives me something to look forward to. There's some dividends. There's something that's going to help us get through the tough times.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what I hear you saying is emotionally stable, good with long-term planning, and a strong finish. Got it.
Yes, finish is key.
Yeah, nobody likes a book that fizzles out in the end.
No, or just leaves you hanging, you know? Mm-hmm. Unresolved.
Yeah, we call those serials. Yeah, they're needy and they won't let you sleep and you got to proceed with caution. So what are you currently reading? Tell me about Who's the Rebound, and are you seeing anybody casually right now?
Oh, yeah. So this is a little complicated, you know? There's Two Girls, Fat and Thin by Mary Gaitskill. I just started that one, and we're kind of in that awkward getting to know you phase and trying to figure out what's happening in the book. But you know, it's been good. And then I've got Winterhouse, which is this really delightful middle grades novel that has a lot of wordplay in it. Love the word ladder stuff. Super entertaining. I'm also finishing up a book called An Everlasting Meal, and it's a food memoir / kind of cookbook, but not. And we're just, you know, essentially spoon feeding each other during this reading process. It's really, really delightful.
Mm-hmm. This is a classic example of poly reading. Poly reading, bold move, juggling plots. I've seen stronger readers break. Pray for him.
Yes, I'm reading 3 books at once. They all know about each other. They're cool with it. It's fine. It's fine.
And I just want you to be careful of potential burnout and heartbreak. So like, you got to be careful with the mixing plot lines. So watch your back and be careful about that.
I mean, don't worry. I'm using bookmarks.
Oh, protection.
I'm being safe. Protection is key.
Important. Yes. Okay, so tell me about your last breakup. What hurt you?
Finding Junie Kim by Ellen O. That book had so much potential. It had such great word of mouth. And then when you go to read it, it was essentially the equivalent of a book that was like, you need to be better. do this way. And I was like, ooh, this is a claustrophobic relationship. I need some space to breathe. I need some space to actually figure out what is happening in this book. I felt trapped. That book had a mission, and that mission was to fix me. I don't need fixing. I'm like perfect, right? I felt really, really trapped.
Yeah, it sounds like you were trapped in a TED Talk.
Yeah, and there was no ability to like skip forward through that. There was no ability to skip ahead.
Well, I'm going to put a note of no moralizing in your file. So I'm just going to like write that down in here. So you like books that trust you to be a grown-up or an adult is what I'm hearing.
Yes, I mean, I'm a 43-year-old middle-aged man. I don't need a literary babysitter. I need books that will help me revise my thinking, not tell me how to think.
So no literary babysitters. I see. So, who's the one that got away?
Random Family. I loved this book. It is just absolutely phenomenal. If you know, you know. And if you don't, get in the know. Read that book, Random Family. Go get it right now. Absolutely amazing. It is one of those non-fiction books that reads like a fiction novel. And it's rich and deep and lovely. And although lots of people haven't read it, when I get to someone who has read it and we match eyes, we just know. And it's kind of like we've survived something together. It's that powerful of a novel.
Yeah, that's a trauma bond. Oh, so you're one of those. You read it, you felt others' pain, you survived it. That's a classic trauma bond. I see it.
Oh yeah, it's that whole matching eyes thing. It's like, we've seen things, you and I.
Soulmates. It's tragic.
Yes.
Beautiful, but tragic. So your longest commitment, how many pages? And how did it deliver?
I mean, recently, probably Familiaris. Familiaris was, 975 pages. And it was lengthy. It was a thick one, right? And it had some slow patches, but the majority of it was really good. And when it was good, it was chef's kiss.
He was talking about books, right? Right?
Of course I was talking about books. Wait, what did she think I was talking about?
So you're saying size matters, but technique?
I mean, yeah, no, exactly. You can have the page count. However, if you don't know what to do with it, everyone's just going to leave this experience frustrated.
Okay. I hear you. So who's coming to the dinner party? And are we talking about polite conversation or somebody flipping the table and before dessert? What are we talking about here?
Oh, my branding is not exactly Real Housewives of insert your city of choice here. So let me rethink this. Okay, first guest, Nicholas Carraway. It's my literary boyfriend from The Great Gatsby. He's messy. He's kind of given low-key gay vibes, and we would absolutely end up in a corner with a beverage talking about, just life and our feelings and, potentially buying a vacation house on the Hamptons. Maybe.
So trauma bonding before appetizers or with appetizers?
That does seem to be a theme, doesn't it? I guess, so guest number 2 could be Ursula from Life After Life, because she's kind of seen it all. She would have lots of really good conversation. She's been through time loops. She's been through war. And I'm sure that she comes with a signature cocktail, which always adds, a dash of delight. She'll be able to both create and handle some of this chaos.
A survivor who's bringing the gin.
Exactly. I also would bring in Doug Swiatek from OK for Now. He is really equal parts disaster and delight. He would bring some youthful voice to this, cavalcade of characters and would probably start some kind of argument about baseball stats, but I'm kind of here for that. I feel like he would also win people over by the time dessert got served.
So I'm hearing high risk, high reward.
Yes.
Okay.
So also, I'd probably want to have Ruth Galloway. She's an archaeologist. She's a bit of a curmudgeon, so we've got that in common. And then
I see that.
absolutely will judge the host's choice of charcuterie, which I still haven't mastered, but could also help identify the bones if things go south, which as a Sicilian is a skill set that I appreciate.
Interesting. So I'm going to just make that little note here too. Sicilian background. So I hear you saying a guest with a forensic background is important to you.
I mean, it seems like a smart move based upon some of my history. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And I think, last but not least, would probably be Yale from The Great Believers. He is a character who lives in my head rent-free. He is smart. He is kind of a sweetheart and devastatingly earnest, and really, I will feed him. I will protect him. It'll be a good time.
So this is dinner and adoption proceedings?
Look, I contain multitudes.
To me, it sounds like this dinner is more like a therapy session with potential property damage. That's not a dinner party. That's a therapy session with a fire extinguisher on standby. I'm into this. I feel this. Yes. Okay. So let me make just a little note here about this. Okay. So tell me about the one that ruined your sleep schedule and made you rethink your life choices.
Don't necessarily know about my life choices, but sleep schedule, yes, definitely. Her Majesty's Royal Coven, which, witches, queers, explosions. It was literally a feral weekend. I was up until 3 a.m. reading this. I was not staying hydrated. I had a heart rate of 140. Not exactly my best moment, but completely enjoyable, and I'd totally do it again.
So, love?
I mean, you could say that if it was toxic, but yes, love.
Did you text it at 2 a.m.? You up?
I mean, I considered if books had phones, I'd definitely be blocked by now.
Look, I'm not saying he needs professional help, but I did Google book support therapy group after he answered that question.
Look, we all make bad choices. Mine just happened to involve witches and terrible hydration. Don't judge, or go ahead and judge. Why not?
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark this one under the obsession with poor boundaries. Okay, so let me do that. No boundaries. There we go. They're gone. Okay, so what's on the literary restraining order? What's the one that you see across a crowded bookstore, and then you duck behind nonfiction?
Oof, Colleen Hoover. Tried it. I tried it. I got 30 pages into it and I just couldn't anymore. That is for other people. That is not for me. I'm okay with it. And then 50 Shades Anything. There's 50 Shades of Anything. Look, I am all about people living their best life. I do not see a pathway for me. One, I can't handle 50 Shades of anything. I need simpler than that. Give me one shade, a nice gray, millennial gray. And so, yeah, I'm just not doing that. Additionally, I wanted to really like the Divergent series, finished book 1, and then didn't care about any of them to go back and finish any of the other books. So there's that. Also, The Secret. The Secret is manifesting. That's not much of a secret.
Manifesting is not a plot. I'm making these and going to sell them at every book fair. Retirement plan. Done.
I would buy this bag. I would buy this bag and give it out as a Christmas present. This is genius. I might steal this. And then really anything with the girl on the insert noun here. I feel like that is just a trope that is so overplayed. Can we come up with something else? Can there be a new formula? Please, I'm begging of people. Begging.
Okay, so it sounds like, you know, with this talk about your elder millennial gray, that you like have a personal safety plan.
I'm sorry, did you say elder millennial gray?
Yes.
I'm not an elder millennial. I'm a middle-aged millennial.
Tomato, tomato. Okay,
Rude.
would you like my services or not, sir? Because I can just have you walk right out that door.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, so if you're stranded with no Wi-Fi, just books and sand and your fragile grasp on sanity, what's in the bag?
Okay, so one, survival guide, because I'm not going to die out there. I need to have at least something that will, help me plan to be somewhat with it. I don't want to die. And then probably, because I'm going to have a lot of time, The Power Broker. I've been wanting to read that for about 2 decades now. It's 1,100 pages of 0.8 font. So that might be a good time to make that a beach read. Also, collective poems of Edna St. Vincent Millay, because I always read those whenever I'm feeling a little bit lost. They're kind of a constant. Then thinking about Gatsby, because it's a classic. I love it. And really, delusional rich people make for a great beach read. And then last but not least, let's go Giovanni's Room, because if I'm sure I'm going to go through moments of depression, and if I'm going to be sad, let's go Baldwin, Giovanni's Room. Why not? That seems like it would work.
I respect the poetry choice, but I'm going to give him 2 days until he kind of settles up with a coconut and names him Baldwin.
Listen, if I end up whispering Millay verses to a crab, that's between me and the crab. I'm totally okay with that.
So we're surviving and we're plotting revenge on urban planners and we're emotionally wrecked. I mean, that's Tuesday.
Exactly, you get me.
Okay. So what's your magnum opus? What's getting whispered in coffee shops with exposed brick and weird ladders?
What would I write? So I feel like I would write something Wallace Stegnery-ish, like something crossing to safety-esque, quiet lives, really big feelings, people who are sitting on porches holding drinks, having conversation, wondering if they've made the wrong choices, but knowing that they couldn't fix it even if they decided it was. Mugs, porches, unspoken regrets. This is the good stuff. Yeah, something like that. That's what I would write.
So polite desperation.
Yes. You'll read it, you'll cry, and then thank me later.
Okay, I'm going to write down just you have a little bit of hubris in here. Hubris. Okay. So the indie bookstores will play folk music when you walk in. I see the vision. Quiet devastation, mugs, longing stares into the distance. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, Gregory Alan Isikoff is definitely the soundtrack to this, and you're getting it. You're seeing the vision. Exactly. Oh, you'll read it and then suddenly you're Googling cabin real estate in Vermont just to feel something.
Honestly, I'd read it.
Excellent.
I will pull the reader profile together and then I will be in touch.
Excellent.
I appreciate you and good luck. I hope life is good.
That's my line. She took my line. She looked me in the eye and she took my line. This is how rivalries start.
Oh, it just felt right.
This, is going to start something.
I know. Consider it a plot twist. Yeah, I took his line. I'd do it again. That's the power I wield now. Sequels, baby.